Hey guys, welcome back to the Man That Can Project podcast. I'm your host, Lockie Stewart, and I'm excited to chat to you today. Now, what we're going to be talking about is off the back of the last podcast with Travis Hawks based around make a living doing what you love. I thought it would be cool to dive deeper into it and share more about my own experience in learning to do that, as I put a Facebook post up today, and it's got a lot of people sending me messages just asking for more tips and tricks. So I thought I would share a few things there that have worked really well for me, and hopefully, well, I know it'll give you guys some perspectives and some things to think about. So definitely listen in, take some notes. And so what I was going to say, definitely continue to do your own due diligence. And you're the only person who knows your situation better than anyone else, right? So I'm going to speak a lot from where I was at in certain points in my life, and I'll do my best to make this short and sharp. So if you are driving or if you are walking, it doesn't, you don't run out of time. But obviously, if you aren't a member of the Strong Men of Value program, I'm highly encouraging you guys to get in and be a part of it as valid or valued listeners. I would love to connect with you guys further and be able to serve you more, be able to provide you with tools, tricks, and strategies on how to take your life to the next level. And something that I think a lot of people are sitting on the fence for is because we think we can only reach out for help, right? Or we can only get a coach if we're at rock bottom. That's complete bullshit. Everyone who is successful has a coach. You look at LeBron James, you look at Tiger Woods, right? For those in Australia, look at Dusty Martin. They all have coaches for their mindset, for their physical performance. And it's not because they're the worst. It's because we know we need to be held accountable. We know we need to be having people looking at our blind spots because we all have them. Because when we dial and focus in on achieving something, generally we put the blinkers in or blinders on, and everything else outside of that, falls on the wayside. So what we don't give focus to, we can't improve. Now, obviously, we want to have a holistic quality of life. We want to thrive as men. And that's where we help you in the Strong Men of Value program, because we all have different goals we're working towards. And you fill that out in the game plan, right? In the 12-week game plan. And when we hold you accountable, or when you get to chat with other blokes within the group, you get to be reminded of other things that are important to men that, maybe you've forgotten about, or you might be might be coming to your horizon in the future. So definitely get in there. You can get a 7-day free trial. Click the link in the bio wherever you're listening. And if you are tuning in for the first time, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, definitely share it, tag me so I can see who's tuning in and what you're enjoying about it. But anyway, let's get back to it. So obviously I'm very, very grateful and fortunate to be able to make a living doing what I love. And it wasn't always this way. As depending on where you're listening, we're all in different situations. I pursued the rugby route. And then after that, I've worked so many different jobs, right? I've worked as a chippy or a builder. I did my apprenticeship through that. I've worked as a glassy. I've done Uber driving. I've done sales. I've done marketing, which all involved door knocking and a lot of scary stuff there. And various other things, concreting, fucking working at a service station. But all of these things taught me so many skills, but it also helped me identify things that I didn't want in my life and made me curious about finding things that I could find in my life. Because one thing I knew, I don't really do well being told what to do. I don't think a lot of us don't like being told what to do. We can definitely be given instructions. And when we get the freedom to do it, execute it in our own way, I think it's awesome. And that's what I believe a great employer would be. But a lot of us being told what to do, and we get tired of that and it becomes very monotonous. So from my own experience of going through all these roles, as I mentioned, I learned a lot of skills. I was fortunate enough to think about, okay, well, I don't like this, I'm going to change. And granted, guys, I was between 18 and 26, sorry. So I didn't have a mortgage. I didn't have my own family, right, with children and all these other various things that not impacted, but controlled a lot of my decisions. So if you're in that boat, I'm not saying any of this isn't possible for you. I'm just trying to choose my words carefully here. All of it's possible. You've just got more things to consider. And as I am continuing to grow and my life's changing, I now have more things that I need to consider when I make decisions, so I can completely understand what that feels like. And even for myself at the moment, I'm noticing, fuck, I wish I'd done this a couple of years ago, because I wouldn't have had to consider this. I wouldn't have had to consider that, but now I do. So I think the most important part is, regardless of where you're at, it's easy to go, oh, fuck, it's easier for you because you don't have a mortgage. It's easier for you because you don't have a kid. But that's not taking responsibility. That's not taking ownership. You want to take ownership and responsibility. That is the only way we can make progress, right? So fortunately for me, from all of that, I started taking action on things, implementing things, and chasing things that I thought was going to give me my ideal lifestyle. And obviously within that, some non-negotiables came out, and that was, I never wanted to work for anyone again. And not because I think that's a bad thing, just because for me, I wanted, and I still do want, I want choice, flexibility, and freedom, right? And I want that on a day-to-day basis, to be able to pursue what I really enjoy, to have the flexibility to work from where I want, and also be able to make the decisions that I feel are going to best allow me to feel fulfilled, but also have an impact towards improving men's quality of life. So while that may be possible in certain roles, I just hadn't found anything. So I was like, you know what? The best way for me to tick all of those boxes is to create something for myself. Now, deciding to make a living doing what I love, it's not just a decision, right? The decision is the easy part. Once you've made the decision comes the hard work, right? What I found from that is I had to learn so many more skills. It's not like you make the decision and automatically you start getting paid like you would with a job. When you land a job, you start getting your income regardless of really how hard you work. I guess the harder you work, the more likely that you'll keep your job. But for those who don't work hard, you're still going to get paid. But when you have your own business, you have to work, right? And you need to be mindful that when you're in, where I'm at the moment, I've just turned into a company. But when I was a sole trader, I only had to feed my own mouth. And I guess the quality of my life, or the freedom and flexibility that I enjoyed, was determined on how many sales I was making, but also how well I was servicing those clients. And over time, my services have evolved, my products have evolved, which has been fine, because I've tried things that maybe haven't worked for me. I've tried things that haven't added value to people's lives. And I've also had moments where I've earned a lot of money, and I've had also equally as many points where I haven't. I've actually lost money. And that's a stressful place to be in, right? It is. I believe it is stressful. As much as I always talk about when I was in a job, I knew what my income was capped at. I knew exactly what I was earning every week. So I could, while it was awesome and easy to budget, if I wanted to save faster, I had to think outside the box, or I had to try and work overtime. Whereas the beauty of the position I'm in now is, if I want to earn more money, I just got to add more value to more people. I got to solve more problems for more people, which is a beautiful thing because I'm in control. But equally as much, if I take my foot off the gas, or if I become lazy or whatever, and I'm not making sales, my income decreases, or this was once again when I was a sole trader. Now as a company, we've got products, we've got the podcast, we've got various other things that are producing revenue in the background, which is a beautiful thing. But obviously, going from that role before, when I was earning $20 an hour, my role was to survive and just pay bills. And I remember being in that position. I saw people doing incredible things. I saw people living incredible lives, but I couldn't get my head up for air to be able to even consider that. I think about it that I was in my own battlefield, and I couldn't, I was so worried about stepping on landmines. I couldn't see the beauty of the world around me. And I think a lot of men are in that position. We're just going through that, the cycle of life where we're just trying to fucking survive and pay our bills. We hear people, even maybe listening to this podcast, you might have heard episodes or guests that we've had on, and you go, yeah, fair enough. It's good enough for you, but, and I can 100% empathize with that, because that was me. But the thing that saved me, gents, and I really, really, really want you to listen to this. The thing that saved me was being able to just put my head up for a split second, because just trying to survive just trying to pay bills, nothing is ever going to change. That is all you are going to be doing because that's where your focus is. It's survival and paying bills. So you're doing that. And surviving isn't fucking fun. Thriving's fun. Surviving is you're just dragging your feet and you're dragging your knuckles to get through. When I decided, and that split moment, and the split moment was 2014 for me, where I got into network marketing. That's what it was for me. But that one moment where I got my head up for air, and for the first time in a very, very long time, I wasn't thinking about just surviving and paying bills. For the first time, was like, I'm fucking going to create financial freedom. I'm going to change my life. And as soon as I decided that, right, the decision was the easy part. The rest started to follow. And obviously a lot has changed and a lot has evolved over the time. You know, I had to overcome anxiety. I had to deal with having no money and learning how to invest when I had no money. The very first investment I made in myself cost me $25. And that was scary as all hell. I had to decide about, was I going to not be able to buy a carton of beer this weekend? And what I didn't even realize what I was investing that $25 in, right? It becomes a lot easier to invest in yourself after you've done it for a little bit, right? Like I've invested over $100,000 in myself now, but that initial $25 was the hardest, right? And I, for a long period, didn't feel like a successful man because I didn't have a degree. I wasn't really shining in anything. I couldn't provide. So I was constantly battling these limiting beliefs. So you can imagine going, right, I've just been given this opportunity and I know the way to create the life that I want to make a living doing what I love is out here. But out here is so foreign to me. Investing in myself, making sales, marketing, doing all these things was so foreign. It was scary as all hell. And for a lot of people, when they consider that, the fear of that keeps them stuck. They're like, no, it's not possible for me. There's no certainty in self. I can't take that risk. What if I fail? What if people judge me? And so they continue doing the same shit that they've always been doing, which is what I did for a long time. They survive and they just pay bills. Now, for me, what followed, right? And what I believe saved me was this. I looked outside my current reality. So my current reality back in 2014 was surviving and paying bills. I looked outside that. I saw people who were entrepreneurial, people who were investing in themselves, people who were taking risks, people who were earning enormous amounts of income, people who had the freedom to spend time with their children, people who had the freedom and the choice and the flexibility to just go, hey, I feel like traveling today. Let's go do that. And that excited me. And that really changed the way I thought about my own current reality, because I said to myself, well, if they can do it, surely I can as well. Surely if I hang around enough people doing that, I will be able to understand how they think. I will be able to just, suck, not energy, but suck success off them. That sounds bad. But I'll be able to absorb everything that they do, and I'll be able to then action it myself, because I'm already putting time into someone else's business. I may as well do it for myself. And that's what I did. And so looking outside my current reality, guys, and this is why I wholeheartedly believe the Strong Men of Value program is changing men's lives. We've got so many blokes in there already, but we're helping men change their current reality, because just by listening to other blokes' stories, it's helping them think differently. It's helping them question what their reality is and the outcome that they've got for themselves. We then looked at different thinking, right? From being challenged and having my reality changed, I realized that I could think differently. If I could think differently about how I could earn money, if I could think differently about how I thought about myself, results would change, right? And then when you think differently, you're going to act differently. You may have had a mate that you went to school with, and you catch up with them at the 10-year reunion and they are a completely different person. I know I would have been that guy for a lot of people that I went to school, because I changed. I was looking outside my current reality. I was thinking differently and I was acting differently. And therefore the whole course of my life is different. And by acting differently, I was changing the outcomes. I wasn't acting like someone who was just surviving and just paying bills. I was thinking like, and I was acting like someone who was going to thrive and take ownership of their life and have the opportunity to have the choice, flexibility, and freedom that I desired and that I craved. So if I work back on that, guys, and write this down if you're there. If you're there, you're obviously there because you're listening, but grab a pen and paper. But look outside your current reality, right? Network with different people, read different books, listen to different podcasts. They're great places to start, or join the Strong Man of Value program. I'm plugging that hard because I believe it will change your fucking life. Start thinking differently. What are the negative thoughts that you have? What do you need to think in order to be the man that you want to be or to create the life that you want to have? Start thinking about that. Next, act differently. How are you currently acting? What would you need to change? How would you need to act differently? And how would the man that you want to become, or how would a person act that has the freedom and flexibility and choice that you desire? Start thinking about that and start modeling those behaviors, because that will lead to different outcomes, guys. They say the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So think differently, act differently, you'll produce different outcomes. And if you reflect upon those, you're going to get feedback around what is working well for you and what you need to fine tune. Okay. So there's never going to be that perfect time to make a change ever. There's always going to be hardship. There's always going to be adversity. That is what life is there for. It's constantly throwing shit at us because it's testing how badly we want to level up. The amount of blokes that I've coached, right? And I've shared a different perspective with them, or we've had a breakthrough for them. And then a week or two later, or maybe even a month later, something has slapped them so hard in the face and they've gone, fuck. And instead of going, this always happens to me, they turn around and laugh because they go, it's funny that I was just learning about this with you and we've just worked through this. And now life is testing me. It is testing how well I understand that, how well I understand myself, how well I can manage my emotions. And it's also testing how badly I want the fucking change. And that is different for all of us, Jen. So like I've spoken about over and over again, those are a few things that I did that have helped me make a living out of what I love. Obviously, those I guess points that I touched on, different thinking, different actions, looking outside your reality were some crucial parts in that, and then evolving into network marketing, to sales, to marketing, to then creating the Man That Can project, or founding the Man That Can project, has been a journey. But I've always said to myself, I just want to be happy and I don't want to sacrifice. You know, there's things that I model within people that have helped me become successful, but there's also things that I've been aware of that other successful people, or maybe not even what I define as success, how they live their life. And I've had that in the back of my mind to go, okay, well, I don't want that. I don't want to do things just for money, guys. But that's why you'll have seen the Man That Can project evolve, and where we're at now with the Strong Man of Value program, where everything is essentially in one thing. Because when I had so many things happening, I was feeling stressed, I was feeling overwhelmed, and I wasn't fulfilled. So rather than just keep going, I need to do this to earn money, I said, fuck it, I'm going to change it. And what would fulfill me and still provide value to those around me? And that's what I did. So guys, don't stay, or don't remain in the mindset that you can only survive and pay bills. You're so much better than that. And if you need help with that, remember, I'm here for that. You can slide into my DMs on social media, comment below, whatever you need to do to get in contact, or join the fucking Strong Man of Value program. I promise you, there's a 7-day free trial there, and that will change your life. You will see how much value is available there for you to go to that next level. But gents, if you've gotten value from this, please share it on your social media, tag me, and share it with a mate that you feel will get value from it. Because, you know, we are all a part of a ripple effect in our own communities, right? And I know you guys are friends with so many people that I've never even met before. And by sharing an episode like this, or sharing any of the content, you might share the one thing that enables or empowers them or inspires them to change their life. So thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, go back and listen to more episodes. There's so many other belters out there like this one. Have a great afternoon.